Hello, my true crime lovelies. Happy Friday. How are you all? Hopefully, you guys can hear me. What is going on with my screen, though? Here we go. No, this is what I want. No border. Okay. How's everybody? Hey, fan lady, tell the truth. Barnabas Collins, Irene Calexico. Oh my goodness, everybody's here. Toya, Rebecca. Welcome, welcome. I hope everybody is safe. Whoever was impacted by the storm, I hope you're safe and sound. And if you have loved ones in the area, I hope they are safe and sound too. Oh, I put a filter on. It looks kind of glowy. The silly things. So, warning for all, baby is here, dogs are here. If that's not your jam, I'll catch you on the next one. I had 2 videos earlier with no baby and maybe one with no baby and no dogs. So, who has seen the footage? It was a short hearing. There was one, it was delayed because they had technical issues. And then 2, I think they told them to like record it and then play it back, or that's just how it ended up being. But Owens had a bunch of technical issues in the beginning, so it's hard to say. Maybe Court TV will have a clearer version of it later. The one I'm gonna share with you guys is the trial something TV, I think. Let me see, what does it say? Yeah, trial TV live. But I'm wondering who already saw it, and just y'all could tell I was mad if you watched my other 2 videos. I'm like so over the human that is Sarah. Let me present this. I just want to add it without sharing it quite yet. Yeah. Oh, I said not quite yet. I just want to get it ready. Okay. Yes. Hey, girl. Hey. Oh my God. Everybody's here. I love it. Happy Friday. Hey, Darby Lee. You can hear me. Awesome. Rebecca says, hi, Sugar Bear. Hey, Lisa. Good afternoon. All love from Washington. Oh, the state of Washington it must be, because what is it there? Like 3:30? Hey, A. Stevens, Afton, Gretchen. You did, and it was a hot mess. Okay, because I haven't seen all of it. I was watching some of Uncivil Laws, but then I had to go and get Sugar Bear. But Kurt was cursing up a storm. So I was like, oh my God, this must be awful from a legal standpoint. Hey, Amy Crew. Oh my God, you've seen some of it in another chat. Okay, cool beans. Oh, thank you, Bama Green Eyes. How are you doing? Owens. Oh, he was. I'll have to see if I can pull that up. If anybody has the link to that, drop it in the chat, and Corsican has a clear video. Okay. I don't know how he has time to begin. I know, like you don't have time to find citations, but you have time to oh, there was a cactus that bit the dust. Okay, Sugar Bear. You don't have time for citations, but you have time for court TV. Owen, he's trying to get famous. He's going to be infamous because the stuff he's pulling, so we had already talked about he didn't have the citations in the suppression motion, right? And then that didn't even get heard today, although the state did push back on that. So they're not hearing that until next Wednesday. But the state was like, listen, I have something to do on Friday. Thursday is a holiday. I will be observing that holiday. So chop, chop. I was surprised that the judge seemed to indicate he would give them more time, or at least until the end of today. But yeah, so it sounds like, oh, hey, I'll let him know, Bam. It sounds like most of us are kind of in the same on Court TV just a little while ago. Okay, if anybody has the link to where on Court TV, I don't want to go to their website because it plays commercials. But if it's on YouTube on Court TV, if you could drop a link in the chat, that would be great. If not, we can look at it another time. But yeah, let's get into this foolishness and chicanery. Is that where I want to be? Let's see. Let's figure out the best way to. What did Amy say? Tell the truth. I think he wants the money. Oh, someone else said that today. I wonder. And if so, I hope the Torres family sues him. Just saying. Okay, let me get over to this other one. Put it in full.
Mr. J, if you're able to start over and pick up or pick up where you left off, start over on the issue of, we were discussing the depositions of the recently identified experts. We had confirmed that Dr. Harper's deposition was October the 1st. Dr. Birkeland, my understanding, is no longer being called as an expert to testify, but is only being offered in some kind of advisory capacity. And all efforts to depose Dr. Brannon have not borne fruit yet. You can pick up where you've left off.
Yes, we have tried to get that coordinated and have had no success with opposing counsel. I am not even sure what this person will testify about.
I need to go back because did he say Dr. Harper is now only in an advisory capacity? If you're able, let me just go back a little bit.
To start over and pick up, or rather than pick up where you left off, start over on the issue of, we were discussing the depositions of the recently identified experts. We had confirmed that Dr. Harper's deposition was October the 1st. Dr. Birkeland, my understanding, is no longer being called as an expert to testify, but is only being offered in some kind of advisory capacity. And all efforts to depose Dr. Brannon have not borne fruit yet. You can pick up where you've left off.
Yes, we have tried to get that coordinated and have had no success with opposing counsel. I am not even sure what this person will testify about. I don't know if it's another battered spouse syndrome expert. Florida law seems pretty clear that any other mental issues would have to be insanity. So I'm not sure exactly who this doctor is. We had prayed the court for relief and at least getting a report by today from him. We have not gotten such a report. So I don't know when we will be able to coordinate that deposition prior to trial.
Okay. Mr. Owens, with regard to Dr. Birkeland, is Mr. J's position that that person is not going to be called at trial accurate?
That's correct.
Okay. All right. So is there any reason to worry about deposing that person at this time, Mr. J?
No, sir.
Okay.
Okay. So where am I? That makes sense then, because Birkeland is the one who stored the body parts, right? Former Dr. Michael Birkeland. I know you guys said to give him his respect because he has a degree, but whatever. He is now not subject to cross-examination, right? Because he's not going to take the stand, so he's going to be advising. I really wanted to know if he was able to even perform the death investigation without having a valid medical license, but I guess now it doesn't matter. So that's one less ass whooping that we'll see during the trial.
With regard to Dr. Brannon, are you still going to be offering him as a witness at trial, Mr. Owens?
Yes, Judge, and I'm going to be down there Monday night, and I'll be available all of next week. I can do it at any time. The only two things I've got is the Dr. Harper's deposition on October 1 and the state's expert evaluating the defendant Sarah Boone on Wednesday, October 2nd. But I'm free anytime, and we can make Dr. Brannon available any day that week. I would assume we just have to get with him.
Mr. J?
It would be helpful if I had a report so that I could craft a preparation for this person's deposition.
What is the basis to require the production of a report?
Under 3220F, you and your discretion could order it to speed these proceedings along so that I do not have to engage in a fishing expedition for an inordinate amount of time on the eve of a trial that is set to occur on October 7th, when I am unavailable on Friday next week due to an insanity placement hearing in Osceola County that has been previously scheduled and rescheduled numerous times. I am not opposed to working on Thursday, but Thursday is a court holiday, so we would have to make arrangements. And then Wednesday,
if there are other persons in the media.
This apt, and this is what I want to know, because they already funded it, right? So JAC, that was what happened last week, is they said they were going to give him whatever it is. So now and I went back and looked at it, and it doesn't have like what was I going to say? It doesn't, I know for sure it doesn't say anything about advisory capacity, but it doesn't have, I guess if you go to trial or not, it says for testimony, but it doesn't have that they have to testify for in order to earn, you know what I mean? And so he could get that, whatever it was, $200 an hour, and never have to show up on the stand. So I just am like, what? Which means now comes another death investigator who will need to testify. That the state, the JAC is also, going to have to pay for. I don't understand like the willy-nilliness. I just feel like Sarah's gotten more than her fair share of the
Who are
taxpayers'
appearing
money.
virtually to observe this proceeding, I need you to mute yourself, please. There's an individual by the name of Lou. Sir, I need you to mute yourself in order for the court to conduct its business. Whoever is participating in the hearing this afternoon, whose name is Lou, if you can hear me, this is Judge Kranick. I need you to mute yourself, please. Mr. Owens, how are we going to be able to coordinate this step? Well, let me go back to you, Mr. J. 3.220F says, on a showing of materiality, the court may require such other discovery to the parties as justice may require. And is that your position that allows me to provide written reports?
Yes, it is within the court's discretion to order an expert who has not produced a written report, nor have I gotten his CV, to produce a report in efforts to coordinate discovery with opposing party.
Mr. Owens, what's your response?
Judge, my response is it's a narrow issue, battered spouse. Dr. Brannon is an expert. I've mentioned him 2 or 3 times. He testified in the Marsha Thompson case in Palm Beach County. That's his field of expertise. It's not going to be a fishing expedition in his deposition. It's going to be related to that sole issue, battered spouse. And I'm available Thursday. I realize that's a holiday, but I'm available as well. I can make him available. I'll do everything I can to set the deposition as soon as possible.
Do we know Dr. Brannon's availability?
I can try to get him on the phone now, Judge, if you'd like me to.
Any objection to doing that?
I don't want to burden the court. Judge,
Mr. Owens.
I have a pool camera in here. There is no need for anybody else to be on the line except for Mr. Owens.
I can't control that. The media reached out to court admin today and said they were going to be hearing virtually. I'm trying to log in to my app to silence this other person.
I'm having difficulty.
I'm with you on the difficulty scale, and I sympathize with it, but I don't have the ability to remove him at this time. I'm working on it right now.
If he is available on Thursday, then that will be our preference because it's my preference to do it in person.
Fine. That will be an in-person deposition no later than Thursday of next week, the 3rd. If you are unable to have that deposition coordinated, you need to let my office know immediately, and we will set a hearing as necessary. I'm in trial next week, but I will make the time in order to make that happen.
He is living or working as listed on the witness list in South Florida. So under the rules, the deposition should have to occur there unless Mr. Owens is requesting a different location.
Mr. Owens, are you requesting a different location other than South Florida? Where's the location of Dr. Brannon?
Well, we'll ask Dr. Brannon, but if he's willing to come up here for the deposition, I'm fine with that. Or we can travel, whatever. Or we can do it by phone or Zoom. I'm available, like I said, all week next week. I'll do whatever is necessary to get the case resolved.
It's going to be an in-person deposition, so the issue is simply location, whether it's in South Florida where his office is or here.
Doesn't matter to me.
Okay, then you've got your deadline by next week, Thursday, to take that deposition. I have reviewed the state's responses to multiple matters, including the amended exhibit list and the second amended exhibit list and a response that the state had filed regarding a second motion. Was there a second motion to suppress that was filed?
Judge, they filed a notice of objections to the state's evidence late last night. Contained within that objection to the state's evidence was basically an unfiled, legally insufficient motion to suppress statements based on a statement made to a patrol deputy prior to the first statement to the detectives in an unmarked patrol car on February 24th, 2020.
Okay. I have not seen when I that hasn't cleared the court file yet, I don't believe.
Judge, I believe I sent it directly to your JA. Defendant's objections to plaintiff's exhibit list. Would have been sent to Ms. Barrios.
I have. Mr. Owens, the second paragraph of the second page of the objections seemingly refers to a different interrogation than what is made reference to in your motion to suppress of September 24th.
That's correct.
Okay.
May I be heard?
You filed your objections. As of right now, there's only one pending motion to suppress. Is there another motion to suppress that's going to be filed?
I'm not sure, Judge. I had some time constraints on filing this defendant's objections to plaintiff's exhibit list. I'll put those last two paragraphs in page 2 on there for the purpose of preserving that issue because my client asked me to. Whether or not I'm going to file those or not is an issue that will be decided on Monday when I drive down to speak with her. I may or may not file those, but I wanted to preserve that potential issue, object.
Mr. Owens, can you hear us? Cannot hear you, sir.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir, we can.
I'm sorry. That was my error.
What if any response do you have to my concern is I don't have a complete picture of what is attempting to be filed, and you're telling me you're not going to be able to know until you meet with your client on Monday as to whether or not you're going to file a motion to suppress. We're rapidly proceeding to trial in this matter.
I understand that, Judge. I had a deadline for filing these defendant's objections to plaintiff's exhibit list. Based on my last discussions with Ms. Boone, she expressed concern about those two statements on the second page, the last two paragraphs. I simply was preserving the right to make an objection on the two exhibits, which is the body cam of Deputy Rodriguez and the audio tape that was taken, the interrogation that was taken in the squad car by the two homicide detectives. I don't know whether I'm going to even file a motion to suppress on those 2 paragraphs on the second page. I plan on driving down Monday. I will see her Monday night. We'll make a decision at that time. But I felt like I had to preserve that issue in this objection of these exhibits.
Right? Yeah, we can't worry about that. Because we can't get into a private Zoom meeting. They're not going to let us do it. I don't know. Because there was somebody that said they had a Zoom.
I don't know who that
We
is.
tried it.
Can't we just do the old-fashioned way? Council can call my phone.
Can we pull him in to, can he call over the overhead? Yeah.
No,
All right, Mr. Owens, we're going to give you a phone number to call in, sir, because there are so many people that are trying to participate virtually.
Okay.
The clerk is going to call you right, sir.
Okay.
Let me pull up this new one. Who's like here and makeup.
Can I be on video? Turn off video? Oh, there we go.
Yes, it is. Okay, so remember when we got the other day after that last hearing, he was like, we got good enough, I'm trying to get this in place. Oh, okay. Insufficient. The defendant recites facts, but not like any particular fact or fact is an issue. The reason for suppression in the form of reliable criminal procedure is that he can pull a place person that violated the United States Constitution and Constitution. If no person getting illegally or improperly and unlawfully state versus criminal. By the way, y'all can find out the way this is written. This is coming from Peter J. He's sort of like, let me go. He's got a little bit of a.
Okay. Oh my God. Thank you guys. Sorry about this. There is, and I'm probably super loud. I found the link in my email. Thank you for that. I'm going to try to fast forward for this. I saw someone say that was Carrie in the chat, but now I can't find it. Anyway, let's get on to this. Let me see if I can speed this up. Where's the audio? Oh, this is such a better view. Thank goodness.
There you go, sir. He's on the far right-hand side of the box.
I see you, Judge.
Okay, very good. All right, so that examination is taking place on October 2nd at 12 noon. The next item that I have on my list is depositions of the recently appointed experts for the defense. I know Dr. Harper's deposition is set to take place on October 1. With regard to Drs. Brennan and Birkeland, are those depositions in the process of being scheduled, or what's the status on those today?
I was told by the defense that they're not calling Dr. Birkeland. He was only going to be a consultant. So there will not be a deposition of that doctor. The other doctor, we have made attempts to try and coordinate and not gotten anywhere with that. I am not even sure what he is going to do.
Judge, hang on. Let Mr. J finish his point, sir.
I'm not sure if he's going to be testifying to battered.
Judge.
Mr. Owens, we can hear you loud and clear, sir.
Judge.
Yes, sir. We can hear you.
Judge?
Mr. Owens, I can hear you.
Judge?
Sir, I can hear you loud and clear, sir.
Judge Kramer?
Yes, sir, we can hear you. I can hear you.
Judge Kramer?
Did you guys see the closed caption? It said, "I can hear you, Joe Crazy."
Judge Kramer?
I can hear you.
I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Judge Kramer?
I can hear you. I can hear you. I do not know why you cannot hear me, sir.
Judge?
Sir, can you hear me?
What am I doing wrong?
Counsel, I am not even sure what this person will testify about. I don't know if it's another battered spouse syndrome expert. Florida law seems pretty clear that any other mental issues would have to be insanity. So I'm not sure exactly who this doctor is. We had prayed the court for relief and at least getting a report by today from him.
Whoever is participating in the hearing, Mr. Owens, what's your response?
Judge, my response is it's a narrow issue, battered spouse. Dr. Brandon is an expert. You know, I've mentioned him 2 or 3 times. He testified in the Marsha Thompson case in Palm Beach County. That's his field of expertise. It's not going to be a fishing expedition in his deposition. It's going to be related to that assault issue, battered spouse. And I'm available Thursday. I realize that's a holiday, but I'm available as well. I can make him available. I'll do everything I can to set the deposition as soon as possible.
Do we know if Dr. Brandon's availability?
I can try to get you on the phone now, Judge, if you'd like me to.
Any objection to doing that?
Dr. Brandon's on the phone. We'll have a deposition.
Mr. Owens, we're in here. There's no need for anybody else to be on the line except for
I can't control that. The media reached out to court admin today and said they were going to hear virtually. I'm trying to log into my app to silence this other guy.
I'm having difficulty.
I'm with him on the difficulty scale, and I sympathize with it, but I don't have the ability to remove him at this time. I'm working on it right now.
My preference to do it in person.
Fine. That will be an in-person deposition no later than Thursday of next week, the 3rd. If you are unable to have that deposition coordinated, you need to let my office know immediately, and we will set a hearing as necessary. I'm in trial next week, but I will make the time in order to make that happen.
Living or working as listed on the witness list in South Florida. So under the rules, the deposition should have to occur there, unless Mr. Owens is requesting a different location.
Mr. Owens, are you requesting a different location other than South Florida versus the location of Dr. Brandon?
Well, we'll ask Dr. Brandon, but if he's willing to come up here for the deposition, I'm fine with that. We can travel or whatever. We can do it by phone or Zoom. I'm available, like I said, all week next week. I'll do whatever is necessary to get the case resolved.
It's going to be an in-person deposition, so the issue is simply location, whether it's in South Florida where his office is or here.
Doesn't matter to me.
Okay. Then you've got your deadline by next week, Thursday, to take that deposition. I have reviewed the state's responses to multiple matters, including the amended exhibit list and the second amended exhibit list, a response that the state could file regarding a second motion. Was there a second motion to suppress that was filed?
Late last night, contained within that objection to the state's evidence was basically an unfiled, completely insufficient motion to suppress statements based on a statement made
Judge, I believe I sent it directly to your JA. Defendant's objections to plaintiff's exhibit list. Would have been sent to Ms. Darius. I have last night.
One of my favorite supplements is Cunol turmeric. Turmeric helps with healthy joints.
The second paragraph of the second page of the objections seemingly refers to a different interrogation than what is made reference to in your motion to suppress of September 24th.
That's correct.
Okay.
May I be heard?
You filed your objections. As of right now, there's only one pending motion to suppress. Is there another motion to suppress that's going to be filed?
I'm not sure, Judge. I had some time constraints on filing this defendant's objections to plaintiff's exhibit list. I'll put those last two paragraphs in page 2 on there for the purpose of preserving that issue because my client asked me to. Whether or not I'm going to file those or not is an issue that will be decided on Monday when I drive down to speak with her. I may or may not.
To the case, and as I outlined in one of my responses that I filed today, there is a uniform pretrial order that was issued in this case, as in every case, which clearly spells out to the defendant that she has to file all of her pretrial motions 10 days before a pretrial conference and get them heard. And here we are at the time of the pretrial conference, and we're still kicking this can down the road as to whether or not we kind of maybe sort of might file a motion to suppress. And so we're just asking for them to file it. And if they're not, then perhaps we will do something so that we can get a pretrial ruling on the constitutional admissibility of these statements so that there's not an adverse ruling during trial, which the state can seek no relief from. I don't think we're asking for much. It's been over 4 years. She's been well aware of her statements. She's gone through numerous counsel. It's not unfair to ask the court to get an answer. Are we going to do this? Because if so, when are we doing this? We can't do it next Friday. We can't do it next Thursday, as far as I know, unless we can get Judge Munyon to open up a courtroom. And then we will have to deal with, are we in South Florida? Are we doing a deposition of this late expert? What part of the day? And then Wednesday, we already have the bulk of our middle of the day consumed by going out to the jail, which will probably take from about 10 a.m. till 3 p.m., going from travel from here, getting through the screening process at the visitor's entrance, and getting back to the female dorm, and then reversing that process. And then we have the deposition of their expert on Tuesday. So we're kind of running out of time to do these things and to coordinate and make sure that the two detectives and now potentially this patrol deputy have availability when they were never asked to be made available next week. They've been asked to be made available for the 3-week trial period. So I don't think we're asking for much to just get an answer. Are we going to do this motion to suppress? And if so, when? We already have a motion to suppress issue to deal with the 2-hour and 6-minute interrogation, which is going to take probably about 4 hours between testimony from the witnesses, the court watching the full 2-hour and 6-minute interrogation, and then arguments of counsel.
Anything further, Mr. Owens?
Even with my motion to suppress statements, I don't think it's going to be necessary for you to watch the 2 hour and 6 minute interrogation on that issue about whether or not the court should grant my motion. Again, on the issue of the pleading that I filed regarding my objections to the exhibits, it's the same response I gave before. I essentially felt like I needed to file them. I don't know whether or not I'm going to file any motions to suppress on on the Deputy Rodriguez's body cam. I'll know Monday night. I don't know if I'm going to file a motion to suppress on the interrogation in the squad car. I'll know Monday night. I was simply preserving that issue that we wanted to object based on that. We're working as diligently as we can. I understand that Ms. Boone has had the case for 4.5 years, but I have not had it for 4.5 years, and I'm doing the very best I can to comply with the court's order to be ready for trial October 7th and still protect my client's rights as I see fit.
You're going to have till today to file that motion. You can buttress it, you can amend it, you can provide case law. The only thing I'm going to ask is that you provide the court and state attorney's office any case law that you plan on relying on, but you can always withdraw it if you need to after your conversation with Ms. Boone.
Would you clarify that again, Judge? So I've got until the end of business today or the end of the day?
Any responses to that, Mr. J?
It makes no difference to my weekend at this point, Judge.
Okay. You'll have till the end of the day, sir, no later than 11:59 tonight to file that motion if you're going to file it, because the state needs to be advised as to what, if any, positions you have with regard to those matters.
And you're referring to the motion to suppress the statements made during the body cam of Deputy Rodriguez, and then a separate motion to suppress any statements made on the audio tape of the interrogation by the 2 homicide detectives in the squad car. Am I correct?
I am referring to the paragraphs that are in your objections. Second page, first paragraph, and second paragraph.
Yes, sir. I understand.
If those are filed and when those are filed, I need you to favor copies to my office, please.
Yes, sir.
Now, regarding the motion to suppress that was filed on September 24, I understand next week's very busy. I know that my office had inquired if anyone was available Friday. I now understand the specifics as to why Mr. J is unavailable on Friday. As the parties are aware, the court, this is not the court's only case. The court is in trial next week. We have a legal holiday on Thursday. I don't believe that Judge Munyon has the ability to open up the courthouse just for me, as this is a statewide court holiday that would be required of the Chief Judge of the Florida Supreme Court, I think, to make that decision. And I don't know that I have the ability to call Chief Judge Muniz to get that decision by Thursday to allow us to conduct work on that time. I will make myself available next week, but the problem is the scheduling of it because the court is in trial, and the state certainly deserves an opportunity to understand the court's ruling prior to trial in order to prepare what, if any, rulings would be adverse or for the benefit of the defense or for the state. I don't know because I haven't had the hearing. With regard to the 4 hours, Mr. J, why could I not review that 2 hour and 6 minute interrogation prior to the hearing such that we would be able to save some level of judicial efficiency and economy?
I have no objection to the court doing that. I just understand that some judges in this building do not do that.
I don't have a problem looking at it in advance. And that way, if there are certain things that either yourself or Mr. Owens wants to highlight for me during the hearing, look at time step X or Y, certainly I'll give you both the opportunity to do that. But I think for judicial efficiency and economy, I don't have a problem reviewing it so that we don't have 4 hours of hearing time. Maybe we limited it to 2 for the purposes of case law argument and any testimony.
Judge, if I may.
Yes, sir.
If I may. Friday, I know there's 2 prosecutors on this case. I understand that this prosecutor is going to be elsewhere, but the main prosecutor who's prosecuting this case that would be available Friday for a hearing on this issue about my motion to suppress.
I'm handling the motion to suppress issue.
Okay, that answers that question. Mr. J is handling it. So I am here at your disposal, gentlemen, for when we might be able to set this motion for hearing.
Judge, if I may, we've been in contact with Dr. Brandon, and he is available on October the 3rd at 3 p.m. I'm waiting on a location from him, but I believe, this is that. Judge, that's Thursday at 3 p.m. That's the holiday. So I'm available that day. We just got to check with Dr. Brandon about which location, whether Orlando or South Florida, where his office is.
State's not willing to go to South Florida for a 3 p.m. depot on Thursday when I need to be ready for back in town and get a good night's sleep before doing the same replacement Friday morning. So he's not willing.
Mr. Owens, hang on, please.
He's not willing to do it up here, then we'll need to coordinate another time during the week.
Okay. 3 p.m. is not going to work based on the state's schedule and what they have to take care of on Friday.
Okay, I'll try to get him up here for that date and time, October the 3rd at 3 p.m.
Are you stipulating? Are you stipulating then, Mr. Owens, to having Mr. Brandon appear in person for the October 3rd at 3 p.m. deposition here in Orlando?
I can't stipulate without talking to the doctor first, but I'm going to make every attempt to get him up here. But I'll let the court know, hopefully this afternoon, and the state know this afternoon.
Okay. All right. Getting back to the September 24th motion to suppress. State, how can we tee this thing up for hearing in time, understanding that you're out of pocket on the 4th?
Judge, I'm available Monday. It's my understanding that opposing counsel will be in transit to the Orlando area on Monday, so I don't know of his availability. On Tuesday, we are taking the deposition of Dr. Harper from 10 a.m. until I'm concluded with that deposition, but we should have afternoon time, especially if it's only going to be 2 hours on Tuesday the 1st. And on Wednesday, I can make myself available to do it at 8:30 in the morning with the court prior to us getting ready and going out to the evaluation at the jail, or we could do it afterwards at 3 p.m. on Wednesday when we are done at the jail.
But 3 p.m. is when the evaluation concludes, correct?
She says 2 hours, but what I'm trying to include into that is leaving the female dorm, getting back to our cars, driving up I-4, getting to the courthouse.
Okay, so that's a 3 p.m. ETA here.
Yes, sir.
Okay, got it.
Judge, my only concern is I know the two homicide detectives, I anticipate the state being able to have them available whatever day, but I do want the custodian of the records to bring the sheriff's department, so I have to subpoena them to bring the policy and procedures and the Miranda card and the waiver of rights for them under the Miranda.
Any response to that? Okay, all right. We'll make it happen on Wednesday. I'll advise the ASA and the defense in the trial that's set for Monday that we're going to have a hard break at 3 o'clock on Wednesday. If we have to work a little bit after 5 o'clock, I will let my court staff know that we may have to work a little bit later that evening in order to make that hearing happen. State, are you going to be able to subpoena your witnesses in time to get them here?
They will come.
All right. Defense is Wednesday at 3 p.m. acceptable. Mr. Owens?
Yeah, I'm here, Judge. I'm sorry.
Wednesday, October 2 at 3 p.m. for a hearing on the motion to suppress.
Judge, I'll work on getting my subpoena out today for the motion to suppress Wednesday, October the 2nd at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Correct. At that point in time, we'll also address the motion that was filed at 1:13 this afternoon regarding clothing, et cetera, for Ms. Boone I conferred again this morning, Mr. Owens, with Barry Click, Public Defender's Office. She has not heard from you yet. Are you going to be relying on the Public Defender's Office to provide clothing? They are still ready, willing, and able to do so.
No, Judge, we were going to provide clothing for this move.
Okay.
We wanted to get out there one day, early, Tuesday probably, to take measurements from her.
That's something you're going to have to address with the jail.
Okay.
I know I saw your motion. I don't even know if the state's had the opportunity to review it yet.
I have. I believe the shackles portion of the motion has been a ship that has come through here. It's failed. And I believe all the clothing issues have been addressed by the court. The only thing that seemed to be new was the hair and makeup. And I did not see any authority cited that specifically said that was permissible. But we don't really have a dog in the fight. If court admin and security staff, however it works, is going to permit this to perhaps, as far as I know, be the first person to ever have that done in this courthouse, that's between them.
Okay. All right. So the court will review that motion and the case law that you provided for me, and I will make a ruling on that in chambers as soon as practical. State, is there any other housekeeping matters or anything else from a scheduling perspective we need to address today?
Skating for over 45 years has taken a toll on my body. I take Cunol turmeric because it helps with healthy joints and inflammation support.
That scared the bejesus out of me. This is why the court TV feed is problematic.
Of discovery that is still outstanding, and that discovery includes medical records from several different locations, and things, those specifically, and perhaps other things that are probably pertinent to all three of the experts, the two defense and the state's expert on battered spouse syndrome. So I don't know how we want to handle that, because if this information finally does come in, and again, I believe the court has already accepted the state's arguments that once jeopardy has attached, then it's too late. But there comes a point in time where it's too late for us to get this new information to all three experts and then redepose them as well. So there is my concern with this outstanding discovery, just as it relates to the experts.
Okay. Mr. Owens, any response to that?
Judge, we'll call today to see where, if the medical records are en route. We'll get the state an answer today, one way or the other.
Okay. Get the state an answer today, one way or the other. But if it's Friday next week and you get them, that could be problematic as to whether or not they're going to be permitted or not. I'm not saying yes. I'm not saying no. It's just the closer we get to trial, the limited opportunities we have for everybody to understand what those records are.
Judge Clayton, we're doing the best we can.
I understand that. Anything else from a scheduling perspective, state? Mr. Owens, anything from a scheduling perspective from your side of the ledger?
I don't believe so.
Okay. All right. Are there any other matters with regard to trial that we need to address starting on October 7? Jury selection is going to be here in 12 Alpha. I outlined previously the amount of people in working with jury services that I'm going to be bringing in. The court's druthers are in the morning to have 50 people address any preconceived notions or knowledge about the case and cause challenges as to our jury sacrificing 3 weeks out of their life to come participate in this process. And for those that may be able to do that, I will give them a number, or Madam Clerk will give them a number for jury services to call for when they're supposed to return. I then intend on having another panel of 50 at 1:30 that afternoon. That will continue until we have a panel of 40 to 50 persons for which to select our jury from. Does the state have any questions with regard to that process?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Owens, do you have any questions with regard to that process?
Judge, are we going to be in a bigger courtroom than the one you're in now?
No, sir, but we can fit 50 people in here. In the gallery, I can fit 50 prospective jurors. And I've already coordinated with the sheriff's office to ensure that we'll have the appropriate number of seats in order to make that happen.
Okay.
So any questions with regard to that protocol?
No, sir.
Okay. All right. Anything else that we need to address, State, from your side of the ledger?
Just that based on the battered spouse syndrome evidence, we are, as well as the defense, working hard to get everything in rebuttal put together for that. I believe they have listed all the patrol deputies for the prior interactions that the defendant and the victim had in this case. We're going to be listing those as well. So I don't think that would constitute any surprise or great shock. But other than that, I think that's all the state has.
Okay. All right. Anything else we need to address from your side of the ledger, Mr. Owens?
Just some discovery issues, Judge, but I think we need to deal directly with the state on those.
And discovery issues, what are you referring to specifically, just so that I'm clear?
Well, there's a public surveillance video from Publix that we cannot get to play. We received it from the state, but we requested new videos or a specific program, but it will not play for us. I assume that's the one either where Sarah Boone and George Torres were going to Publix the first time, and there was a second time that just George Torres went. So we're trying to get that. I think we're trying to get an updated address on Melissa Sexton, which is a witness and I think is listed by both the state and the defense. And then we have an address for a Deputy Zito that's a P.O. box. We probably need a better address from that. So just some stuff that the state and I can get together and try to resolve.
Okay. All right. Anything else, State?
No, you're not.
All right, Mr. Owens, anything else?
I don't believe so, Judge. We're going to do our best this week to get all this resolved and be ready for trial October 7th.
Okay. We will see you next week on the 2nd at 3 p.m. for hearing on the motion to suppress, filed September 24, and for trial on October the 7th. With that, court will be in recess. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Judge. Bye-bye.
Welp, that smirk says a lot. That side eye is vicious. I don't know, guys. She scares me. So I starred some. Let me make sure. Am I too loud now? I need to turn it down from that hearing. Let's see. We'll take that out. I did cover all of those motions. Either. Hang on one second. Earlier today or a couple of days ago. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. So the body cam footage that he references is Kayla Rodriguez. She was the one that was first on scene that Sarah kept asking for water for. She is the one who she told the story about the puzzle. And the, hang on. I don't know what just. All right. Sorry about that. So like the body cam, they're basically trying to get out both of her interrogations and the the body worn camera of Kayla Rodriguez that was at the beginning, where she was like, "Oh, we're playing games," and then I just remember the detective being like, "What? Like, how did he end up in the suitcase? Puzzle?" She said, "Puzzles." And so I just remember that. So basically, anywhere where she said something that is not consistent with being or feeling in imminent danger, they're trying to get put out, right? Because she told her we were playing and it was an accident. She told the 911 person we were playing. And then so that they also are trying to get that suppressed. But what they did is they didn't file a motion for suppression, which is what Mr. J was saying. Like he kind of went round about it. He has to actually file to suppress it and cite case law as to why it might be suppressible. But he floats his ideas out before he actually files, just like the motion that he did file for suppression in the interrogation. He floated that verbally, right? He argued it a little bit to try to feel them out, and the judge told him, you need to cite case law, and then he filed it with no case law. So he's a little bit... I still am trying to figure out, like, is he brilliant and he's like Columbo and he's, playing around at being bumbling and is really doing like 4D chess, or is he actually, and maybe as we age, we have mental decline. Maybe he's not as sharp as he used to be, but he definitely has like this something not all there vibe to him. Okay, Heather, I want to talk about this. They already have her size. Judge mentioned it before. They can get slacks, etc. Right. So when Miss Click was in court, she listed up who was from the JAC. I'm not too loud, am I, you guys? Oh my God, I've been playing with this thing. I might be too loud. Let me go down a little bit. I think she said she was a size 8, and she explained what she had, how many of each in Sarah's size. So I thought the same thing when I saw in the motion that they need to go to the jail to measure her, is they're going to get her fitted clothing, right? And so you would need measurements like your waist and your bust in order to have fitted clothing, hips, your exact inseam. Yeah, I'm guessing she knows her shoe size. She's probably not coming to court in her slides, as she so often refers to them. And then this SD, that's part of the filing, was getting her hair, having her hair styled, not her doing her own hair, having her hair styled. He did not ask for a makeup artist, but he wanted to have her provided makeup. So this is the part that I didn't understand. Why am I not? Oh, you know why? Because I still have, let me fix this. I'm like, why is this? I'm going to stop that. And then I added some new settings today, and I don't know why I didn't remove other ones, because now I can't figure out. I want to take this border off of me. Here we go. Now I lost my train of thought, distracted by this border. Oh, he did not ask for money from the JAC, and he didn't copy JAC on that. So when he's asking the judge, can she have someone style her hair? That's really, like I said earlier, between the jail and Mr. Owens, because I feel like if the judge intervenes, Sarah will be throwing that in their face, like how she did on the IMS, saying Dr. Or Captain DiGiovanni couldn't take her things from her because there was a court order. The judge had ordered that she have like her laptop and USB and all that jazz, right? And so I just feel like the judge doesn't really care. And to Mr. J's point, like, they don't have a dog in the fight. Whatever she comes to court in is, fine with them. But he also made a good point. It was already decided. Remember, the jail came over. They had that whole discussion when Owens kind of backwalked her into agreeing to the stun cuff. So all that has been laid out. There's no reason to revisit that. That they explained when they would shackle her, when they would unshackle her, for the hearings. And I'm sorry, not for the hearings, for the trial. In his motion, he also asked for the hearings because he said, oh, well, she couldn't write notes to counsel. Well, she's not going to be like that when the jury is in. And what notes do you need to write in the hearing? The lawyer is handling the hearing. There's not any like additional facts that she shouldn't be needing to add it, right? They should have had a discussion before the hearing. So yeah, just the whole, and the makeup. One of you guys was like, Lori Vallow figured it out or whatever. And so are they asking someone to buy the makeup? And if so, who? Because again, there's no request made to the JAC about it. So I'm not really clear on like what he, oh, you dropped your car. You're falling asleep. What he's really getting at. And then also asking the judge or putting in the motion to the judge, like they need to go over and get her fitted. That's between you and the captain, you and Captain DiGiovanni. That has nothing to do with Judge Koenig about her getting fitted because we know she wears a size 8. Go pick her up some size 8. The whole Staples in prison pants escapade. I know. And that's the other thing. Like the whole getting ready is going to be a big extravaganza. They wake her up at 3 as it is, right, to go to court. And we know it's going to be every morning. It's not an afternoon court. So they wake her up at 3 a.m. So what time is the hairstylist getting there? When is she having time to put on her makeup? She's going to have to be up at 1. What hair? I mean, one of you guys said in the other comments, maybe put out an ad like she did to get the judge. This ad over here. Where is it? This way. Maybe she puts out one for the, oh, hang on. I got to turn Google off. Yeah. So, I don't know. It just seems overly complicated. I love that Judge Koenig is not budging on adding a continuance, right? Even though the state is expressing frustration of like, we're not going to have time to do this. The schedule sounds hectic for next week, right? They got to go depose Brannon. They got to go in and have their expert interview Sarah, their medical expert. Now we know Michael Berklin is out. So that means another person has to come in and give an opinion about it. The judge denied the state's motion for them to provide reports by today, but he needs to at least have their curriculum vitae, right? So he doesn't even have that. He being the state, Mr. J. I almost said Dr. J. So I'm just like curious about how all this will unfold, but nobody's crying uncle. And then how Owens is like, we're trying the best we can, like you would tell your mom when she's like, you still haven't cleaned up your room yet? You know what I mean? And then you guys are saying he went on court TV tonight. He's got until 11:59 to get these things filed. Like you got to pull citations. Is somebody else like back at his office doing it? Is what's his name? The one that's in New Mexico, James. Is he doing it? Is Tony Henderson doing it? Like there's so many moving pieces. And I feel like Owens is trying to pile so much stuff on the state for next week that they have to ask for a continuance, right? And Judge Koenig is like, okay, do the best you can and get it done. So some of the things Owens is trying to get in, he may not be able to get in because there has to be a cutoff, to Mr. J's point. Like if they're deposing people, if they're doing all, like if they suddenly come up with this magical list, all those people have to be deposed. And he's now talking about redeposing Chelsea Copsall and Scott Lowen, the two homicide detectives who did the interrogation on Sarah. I'm kind of excited that the judge will see the interrogation, though. He will understand how Owens mischaracterized it, right? And that's why I say, like, Owens tries stuff out on putting, like, he's doing a show. He said with so much energy and emotion, like when he was reading, when he was playing Chelsea is not that excited, not that like there's no way by her tone and manner that Sarah felt intimidated. And I really liked the state's response. I thought it was like very thoughtful. It doesn't matter, like all those other things. Thanks to all the new members. And thanks for, oh no, where is it? I lost it. Thanks for the 5-member donation. I appreciate you. Yeah, I can't picture it either. You would think she was born as royalty, right? She's just I don't know. Okay, that was the ones I had starred from earlier. So what do you guys think? Like, so next Wednesday we'll be back. I'll have to watch the docket tonight. If anything post, I'll do a video on it tomorrow, but there's a lot of stuff really going on. Uh-oh. Look at the gallery. Was her brother in court today? Was he in court? Oh, I don't know. Now I have to. I don't know what her brother looks like. So are they deciding on the interrogation, phone, and Publix? So what he said about Publix was that he could not read, or the computer could not read the video. He's going to have to try a different program, right? Like, he's the first one to say that, and multiple people have viewed that Publix video. And there's two Publix videos. So there's the one where Sarah and George went around 12 something in the afternoon, which Sarah had called and asked Brian to electronically send her money around like 11:45, 11:47 on the 23rd. And then like at 12:20, she and George pop up on the Publix camera there, right? And then later on in the evening, I can't remember, it's either like 5 or 7 p.m., George goes back by himself. And there were 3 receipts in the trash can, because remember in the interrogation when Sarah was like, they only had one, and then Chelsea goes, well, you said you had half of one, and she was like, oh, that was from the other day. So there's 3 receipts. One is purchased the night before, so maybe they only had 2 glasses and still had a half a bottle of that. So one was dated the 22nd of February, and then 2 of them were dated February 23rd. Like I said, the 12-ish something, and then it's either 5 or 7 p.m. in the evening. So somebody said that she also had vodka there, but I haven't seen that. I did find where the members told me about the needle in the suitcase. I want to talk about that on the members chat. What time is it right now? We're at 7:35. I think I have to hop over to the members. Let me just, can I see that in here? Good Lord. The number of tabs I have open right now is ridiculous. Let's see. Oh, that one just says schedule. I gotta open up another StreamYard window. I think I can send y'all over here, and those who are members will be able to Oh no, it's 8:45. Yeah, I put it in time in there so I could eat. Okay, so we have time. It's crazy. What does this say? That's what I was asking. Was she flirting with Billy Lane? Because she was giving him all kind of looks. Her brother got done, I think, 2011, and then another few times, same judge. Oh, we're talking about the other brother. I thought you went the one in the military. Interesting. Next court date is next Wednesday, which I think that's the 2nd, right? Whatever next Wednesday is, at 3:00. That's what they were going round and round about, because that's when Jay was getting frustrated. Like, he's got to go and take that deposition. Or no, it's the examination of Sarah. So then he's got to check out of the women's lockup or whatever, and then get over to the court. So he's saying he can walk in by 3. So that's when because Thursday is the holiday. He's going to observe his holiday. I think it's Rosh Hashanah. And then Friday, he has a case. Did he say it was a death penalty case? What did he say? Something. And it's been postponed too many times, so he's not available on Friday. And that's also why he said he's not driving down to South Florida on Thursday night, and he has to get up the next morning early, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, to be in court, Oh my goodness. So it's just a little crazy. Thank you, Nico. Pretend Judge is in here. Hey, Pretend Judge. Oh my God. So it was Tara, thank you, and Nico. I appreciate you guys. Doesn't she realize that she's gonna have to testify? Yes. So we're not even sure if it's fully in. If you in Mr. J's motion, he said he put it in italics, like if it even goes through. They haven't decided, but here's what I want to know. We need a lawyer or someone who's seen this happen before. If it doesn't go through, can they rescind it and go back to it was an accident or not? Is that Liberty? Where did Liberty go? Hey, Liberty. You see my Yorkie. She's poking through. She's not supposed to be in the break room. The fridge is open, Liberty. Get out of here. Yeah, she realizes she's going to have to testify. And I love that the state said the witnesses that the defense has called, like the law enforcement officers that were there for the battered or for the domestic violence, dating violence is what they call it. The state is also going to call them. So that means the state could potentially call them first because their case in chief is first. And then the defense would also call them as needed. So that'll be interesting. Who didn't she tell? Who didn't she tell they were fine? I don't know what that one is. I think part of lawyering is gamesmanship, right? And so I will say, no matter how bumbling and bungling Owens appears, he does have good gamesmanship, right? Although I don't like that he interrupts the judge. I know this time it was probably a delay. We all have that on Zoom. But even the last time, I was rewatching the other last week's trial, and the judge was like talking and trying to finish his sentence, like, and then Owens would interrupt. I don't care which county you're from or which district. That's rude. Yeah, he is. He has a reputation for pleading out, and I think that's what he thought he was going to do with Sarah. He said that in the beginning, and then he wasn't going to take the case. She didn't want to take a plea. He was trying to help her because the state was trying to put her away for life. I still think he might be slow walking her to that, except why would you put in the battered spouse then? I guess there's no getting around it. We all know that she killed him, that she's responsible for his death. It's just, is there mitigating circumstances that would prevent her from spending the rest of her life in prison? Which one? 7:25. What time is it right now? Oh, I don't remember what I said at 7:25. I can't get through all these. Let me go faster. He's twisted. Is that okay? It's crazy. Is 10/10 your mom's birthday? Or is it sooner than that? Oh, wait. Someone's birthday was yesterday. We missed it because Tuesday we talked, right? And then someone said or Thursday would be their birthday. So happy belated birthday, whoever that is. She's not an 8, just saying. Oh my God. He's definitely a fish out of water, and I feel like he's playing it up kind of like in My Cousin Vinny. Do you know? Like, I don't know. There's something off with him. First of all, I have to say this. I'm not trying to be mean, but if she gets fitted clothing, she needs proper undergarments, right? Because you can't have your boobs out of place if you've gotten the top part of you fitted. Nipples have to be in the right place. They just do, because it'll be darted underneath. You know what I mean? And or darted on the side. It will look really odd if they're in the wrong place. It just will. And then I don't know what makeup they're trying to get her, but for us older women, makeup is very different from when you are younger, as far as like just where your creases and whatnot fall. And she's aged significantly in the last 4.5 years. So I don't know. Does who we need to ask? Pretty Lies and Alibi. She always gets the commissary list. Like, is makeup even available in the commissary? And why is he asking the judge? Like, they want to carry the makeup in if it's not in there. It just is all very weird. Is just filing what Sarah wants, and he knows it. Oh, I agree. But that's what I was wondering. Like, what is his strategy in doing that? Is he trying to slow walk her, or is basically like let the judge tell her no, and he doesn't have to go back and forth with her? Because I believe like attorneys like Patricia Cashman, for example, probably just told her, no, that's not going to fly. I'm not going to waste my time filing that. And then Sarah lost trust in her. Like, you should at least try. And so Owens, instead of just saying no, is like, okay, well, let's see what the judge says. Probably won't happen, but maybe it will. You never know. But the hair and the makeup, like that, he lost me with that one. I think SB is excited to tell her story. Yep. And that's whatever is most likely to get her off. Seriously questioning if Owens will question her, have her go narrative. Yeah. I just feel like they're kind of putting themselves in a position to have to go narrative if he can't get all these items he's asking for suppressed. But it could go so far off the rails. Like, look at Robert Tejas. His went off the rails, and he's an attorney. Do you know? Like, he couldn't stay on the track he was meant to stay on. From her free lawyer. The LOL year. Oh my God, I'm here for it. Sarah will demand to testify. She has to talk to her side. No way will Owens, Henderson, or Beck be able to shut her up. Do you think that she can even be coachable of like when the state asks you something, keep it to yes or no? Don't go on these big elaborate tangents. I agree with you, Bama Green Eyes, though. She's come hell or high water. She wants to take the stand. In jail, you are only allowed certain things. So why would they allow her other hair or makeup products than what the jail allows? Right. Right. That's what I'm wondering if it's in the commissary or not. Is that something she can order? Because if she can't order it, why are they asking for stuff from the outside? That's not fair to the other inmates, right? You're creating special circumstances for Miss Sarah Catherine Boone, nay Paulson. Perhaps the love you was to the inmate that got out and does, oh, Christina Pena, maybe. We need to look at the gallery next time. Oh my God, it could be. She wants Yeezy shoes for some reason. Does she really? Those are kind of like slides, aren't they? The ones with the netting on them. Is that the ones you're talking about? They're like a cross between Crocs and slides. Parish Fashion Week at the jail. Ugh. She should want to look frumpy. I agree. Like you've been battered and you're holding on by a thread, right? And not walking in like the devil wears Prada. A bespoke outfit, something akin to Ascot Ladies Day. I think it's definitely going to be bespoke, but I just worry if she can pull it off. Sarah doesn't look like she's ever had anything made for her in her life, right? Like fitted, and she just gives like t-shirt, jeans, shorts vibes to me. Sarah has always been worried about her appearance. She's not worried whether she'll go to prison. She's going to win some battles, but not the war. Oh my God. I can't tell, Nico, from those body cam footages if she was worried about like when she's out in the middle of the night barefoot with the police. In her mind, she's amazing, perfect, brilliant, beautiful. Alcohol is a shitty thing. He will try to withhold the part where she says she thinks living without George should be punished. Oh my God. I think the judge is going to see all of it. I think Owens is trying to get the entire thing excluded. Duct tape and Staples dress. Oh my God. That's what I think, Northwest. But he wasn't specific as to who should be paying for it. Do you know? Or is he then thereby inferring or implying that he would pay for it? Because he said he was having her clothes done. I know JAC ain't paying for that. You better get those free. And also, I think she doesn't want to wear donated clothes because remember the woman said that in court. What was her name? Miss Click said, oh, we have different, whatever donations we have. So it could change from now and then, but I could set some aside for her or whatever. She doesn't want to wear donated clothes, especially not now that the whole world knows they're donated. I mean, listen, Owens might get her some donated clothes, but he's done the PR work that we'll never know where he's like, we're going to get her the clothes, right? So it implies that he and the whole defense team are pitching in, but we don't know that. Has gotten her way up to the point she was arrested. Yeah, and she's still sometimes getting her way. Look at getting the boxes, the discovery boxes into the jail after everybody and their mom told her no. She still bamboozled everybody. She gonna heal bad looking jail, not been good to her. Oh yeah. Hey Thumpa. Yeah, jail's not. It's looking rough and the carbs are vicious. Apparently she has a soy allergy too. Off the rack, drugstore makeup, cheap, and a curling iron. Done. In my opinion, get it at Dollar Tree. Yes, ma'am. And honestly, like, how made up do you want to be? Again, you don't want to come in there looking like the devil wears Prada. Like maybe some eyeliner and some mascara, like lightly put on just to give some definition there. Maybe a little bit eyebrows, some clear, moisturized so you're not in there looking thirsty, and some, a little balm for your lip, and then a good moisturizer. And I think that's it. I don't think you need a glam squad. So the fact that he's even asking, because I would think, I know they have Lotion. So maybe just lotion. I'm trying to think. Do they have maybe Vaseline or is that prohibited? Style her hair every day of court. Yes, ma'am. That's what he's asking for, a stylist every day. Oh my God, it's just crazy. So she's going to play these games, the spoiled brat. It's her last hurrah. She's going to rot in prison for the rest of her life. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's her last hurrah. But I just am gobsmacked at the number of times that exceptions are being made for her. You know, I have to ask, if it were me and I asked for those, would they be given? Not that I would put anybody in a suitcase, but you understand where I'm coming from. Would they be like, oh yeah, you could have that? But she also wears people down, but it shouldn't work. Do you know what I mean? It's just like a little kid who keeps bugging the mom over and over and over again. If the mom says yes one time, then every time that's probably what happened to her. Every time that kid is going to do that. Because I know her father died when she was young and then she was raised by a single mom. So maybe the mom felt guilty and just eventually gave in, or how she was tired because she was taking care of 3 kids all by herself and working as a solo parent. So maybe she just gave in because she was tired of hearing Sarah's mouth. What can they do with the salad bowl? Somebody said a buzzcut. I don't know. She can get a G.I. Jane, or what is it they have in the military, like the high and tight? I don't know. She actually has like nice hair, not like it's pretty, but as far as like it's full. So she could do like maybe they thin it out a little bit at the ends. I don't know. I mean, at least she has all of her hair. Maybe lighten the color, make it look less ick. Wash and dry. Why a stylist? Yeah, I don't know. And in his filing, he said it's basically akin to men getting a fresh shave and a haircut. So I'm like, well, just get her a haircut and be done. Like however the men get it. She doesn't need a stylist every day. None of the men are getting stylists every day before they go to court. And we all are all about equality, right? So why do you need a stylist every day? Owens is going to get tailored clothes and sell them off when she goes to prison. That's how, oh my God, maybe. Ick. That is disgusting. I wouldn't want to wear the clothes of a murderer, you know, after she gets convicted. It's crazy. If they do it for Sarah, then every single inmate. Yep. And if these inmates who ask for it don't get it, then that's going to be ripe for a lawsuit because you're going to have to explain why Sarah got it. How is that not discriminatory? The jail will never let her have her hair. I wouldn't think so. And then what would they be doing? Because I feel like even a curling iron could be used as a weapon. Do you know? Like maybe a blow dryer and you take it in and you take it out. But you have to set the curling iron down. What if Sarah then picks it up and wheels it? You know, like why? Why would they take that risk? Quick perm. Oh my God. Can you see her? Like, I'm thinking of the old school 80s perms. She would come in there looking like a poodle. Oh my God. Jay said this would be the first instance. I am sure. And that's what I'm saying. How are they going to justify that? Are you now going forward going to give all the other inmates that same option? Right? Like it would be a dangerous precedent to set. Hunger Games wig. Right. That's what I want to know. Jennifer. He didn't ask the JAC to pay for it, so maybe he's paying for it. He must have money to burn. He's closed his entire practice to cover this case. And yeah, he's doing a lot. The one thing that they kind of glazed over, though, the whole, what's his name? Michael Birkeland. So the JAC is already paying for Michael Birkeland. Now today, defense said he's only a consultant and they're going to hire another one. But they haven't asked for the money for that yet. When is that motion coming, right? Because JAC is going to have to say yes with that person's name. And I hope that they ask for the person's CV before they fund the money. Do some type of research instead of just dishing out money, because look how quick they issued it. And then he turns around and is like, oh, that person's not going to testify. They're going to be like a consultant. Well, that's not what you asked for the money for, sir. So I don't know. It's a little loosey-goosey. The JAC has a lot of rules and process, right? Which is why we were in court this week for the other lawyers to get their money. But some of the rules don't seem to be to protect the money. It's just like a rule for the sake of having a rule. Like what if what if Owens, not that I would ever do it, but just for the sake of argument, hired me to be like a death investigator and just put that on the paper and they were like, yeah, you can do it. They don't ask for my credentials. They don't look me up. I mean, Owens could have everybody in his family become a witness and get paid and then be like, oh, they're only consulting. Won't see them at trial. Well, will the JAC get to see their work product then? Do you know what I mean? Like evidence of they got what they paid for? Maybe it's a ruse for her girlfriend to dress up as a hairstylist so they can meet in person. But the jail knows that because they were locked up together. I don't think that the jail's gonna fall for that. And she comes to visit her on a regular basis. I've never seen women defendants in court in makeup or nice hair. Yes. I know Lori Vallow had it, but they said she made it herself. I guess there's like potions that you can do back there with like food or I don't know. I mean, how did they back in the day people do it with like nuts and berries? Or is that from Coming to America? They did hair with nuts and berries. Yeah. Oh my God. It's just crazy. She's going to ask for an orchestra to greet her in the courtroom. And who's going to roll out the red carpet? And then don't forget, she'll need a trumpeter announcing Sarah. Yes. We were thinking about maybe sending a gift to them once she is finally gone. Like we have the names of the officers that she harassed. They need something because I know they're not getting hazard pay. I hope she gets a perm. Oh my God, she'll come my camera. But what about the chemicals? And then how long would a perm take? She couldn't get that done the morning of trial. They'd have to come in over the weekends. But Owens is in it to win it for her. I mean, no one can ever argue that she didn't have zealous representation. Pass notes frantically when people are testifying. Oh my God. But then remember, I don't know, that backfires. Remember in Charlie Adelson's trial when he was like writing notes and finally his attorney was like, stop it. Like it doesn't look good. You gotta, what is that? Never let them see you sweat. You gotta sit there and be cool, calm, and collected. And even if they don't ask something, well, at least when it's her case in chief, well, either way, the attorney can ask again and rehab it, right? For the most part. I mean, there are certain instances, but say like they got to train Sarah to not get defensive and over explain because once the state is done asking her questions, once they finish their cross, Owens or whoever is going to examine her gets to get back up and rehab anything she said, right? But if you blow your top while you're being crossed, Owens can't unwind that. He can't unring that bell. So she has to sit there and be cool, calm, and collected. And then once he's done, give back the whatever note she has. The thing is, who did it really well? Oh, in the Depp v. Heard case, the Depp team, they were passing notes and they were really on top of it. All of them knew the case very well. And so if someone had a gap, someone else would pass a note and they were on the little Post-its and they were brilliant, right? And it didn't look bad. It looked well orchestrated. But like I said, in the Charlie Adelson, he's like furiously writing. The jury can see you. You got to be mindful of that. As if Sarah well put together on a daily basis before she was in jail, right? Oh, never. Oh my God. They're going to require a runway next. I agree. It's just a little crazy. And they roll the red carpet out. Yeah, I think part of it is Sarah is demanding it. She's seen pictures of herself, I'm sure, or somebody's brought it in, like she's concerned about her appearance, but whatever personality disorder she has, that's part of it. She wants to keep up appearances. Ugly can't be fixed. Oh my God, you can't fix ugly. This is her Broadway debut. She actually comes in that purple dress Paul picked out. I'm gonna lose it. Wait, who's Paul? What purple dress? Oh, live from my sofa, Paul, or reporting live from the sofa for her shot cuffs. Oh my God. Yes, and who's gonna do touch-ups, right? Like this is all, I don't know. Get her a compact and take the mirror out, I guess, so it's not used as a weapon. Not a backless twirl. Oh my God. Ugh. Amber Heard's makeup palette. Maybe she was using that, and that's why there was no bruises on her when she went to her interrogation. A life coach and personal trainer. No. Weapons cannot be brought into the jail. I don't know if they allow inmates to cut the other's hair with scissors. They do have electric shavers, Sarah girl. Bye. Yeah, they do have, because she's been cutting her hair with clippers. They check them out and check them in, like hair clippers, nail clippers, razors. So, but I don't know if one inmate can use it on another. I guess in the male prison, how are they getting their hair cut? Is there like a barber in there? Yeah, I don't know. He is still in. He's not testifying. He's doing right, but that's what I'm saying. They asked him, Suma, the money that they asked JAC for was not for him to be a consultant, right? But I think now the reason why he's not is probably Owens has Googled him lately and knows that we all know that he stole body parts and that he would be subject to cross-examination, right? That is one of the exceptions. If someone has committed a crime, been convicted of a crime, you can bring it up, and he was convicted of that. So I think the defense has thought better of putting him on the stand, because then everything he says can be discredited. The jury can just disregard it all, right? That's part of their instructions. You can decide if you believe all, some, or none of this person's testimony, or if you trust some, none, or all of this person's. I wouldn't if I was on the jury. What? He stole body parts? Yeah, he lost his license in 2 different states. You know what I mean? Like, he's not credible. What I was saying is, why wasn't he required to give his CV to JAC before they funded that money to say, like, no, find someone else? And because Owens only asked for money for him to be the death investigator, or conduct the death investigation and conduct the crime scene recreation, now he's got to go back and ask someone else, because someone's going to have to testify to that. Someone on the defense team, presumably, is going to have to testify to their theory of how George died, right? One of the reasons I think Owens was asking for particulars so they can poke holes in it, because that's the defense's job at this point, is poke holes in the state's theory. There's no way it's just going to get all thrown out. Do you know? So when is he asking for that? Because trial is a week from Monday. When is he asking for the death investigator that's going to testify? When is he asking for whoever is going to recreate the crime scene? Do you know? Like, it's all of those little things are like, is he Columbo? Is he playing 4D chess? Or is he just bumbling? Dr. Brannon, I don't know if they said it. Did anybody hear it? I know they that the state is going to interview him Wednesday. Oh no, that's not right. That's the state's psychiatrist is going to talk to Sarah. I don't remember if Brannon has or not. Judge K is he's about it. He's my new YouTube crush too. It will take extra security. That's what I was thinking too. Again, it's just extra cost, right? Somebody will have to work overtime, or they have to bring extra people in and be hyper vigilant. And then who knows if some other inmate decides that's the time they're going to escape because the guards are distracted. Like, it just, I don't know what's going on with Owens. But maybe the fact that he didn't ask the JAC for money means he's hoping it gets struck down. Like, maybe she asked for it and he could say, well, I asked. I don't know. Most popular costume this Halloween. Oh my God. If we have enough time to get it ready, is setting new standards for pro se. These people are from now on going to be off the chain. I agree. Give her a brush. Oh my God. Okay, you guys, I'm going to go eat in between. We've got 45 minutes for the members chat. I'll turn it on so others can see, but it'll only be members will be the only ones able to chat, because there's a lot of stuff we didn't get to. Michelle from Jackson, California. It bothers me that whenever Sarah needed money, her ex-husband was right there. It's enabling her completely. Right. Especially knowing that she's an alcoholic and they have a child together. He knew where that money was going. Oh, that was the one thing I tried to mark. Someone said that the divorce case was reopened. So what happened was Sarah was asking for her alimony back. Brian told her he wasn't paying it to her anymore. And I did find one of the YouTubers had a letter. So I'm going to try to see, I got to reach out to them and see if I can share their video and make commentary on it. She wanted her $1,000 while she was in jail. Brian said, F off, finally. And so she wrote, surprise, surprise, a letter to the judge complaining about it. And that judge said, I'm not going to even hear this or entertain this until the murder trial is resolved, right? And so she's convicted. He's not going to have to pay. The order was that he had to pay her $1,000 a month through 2025. I'm not sure when in 2025, but that was what it is. And so Sarah had reached out because she's pro se in that she had reached out to some agency for assistance, and they said, you know, we're not going to be able to help. It doesn't mean you don't have a case, but we're not going to be able to help. And so that is technically active, not resolved, I guess, in family court. No, we shouldn't. Oh, and watch. Maybe. Okay, I'm going to star some of these, and then when we come back, I will, we can hit these up, but I'm going to lay him down. I'm going to eat a little salad, drink a little Diet Coke, and, I'll see you guys on the flip side. Thanks for hanging out with me. Toodles!